Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the exploration ship, Terra Nova. He watched the stars through the large windows. The ship was 3 days out from Earth, doing a routine patrol of the outer solar system. Jake had been in space for 15 years, but he never got tired of seeing the endless black dotted with bright lights. "Commander, we have something strange on the sensors," called out Lieutenant Dan Brooks from his station. His voice was tight with worry. Jake walked over to look at the screen. "What kind of strange?" "A ship, sir. But it's not like anything we've ever seen before. It's huge, maybe 10 times bigger than our ship, and it's moving toward us." Dr. Lisa Palmer looked up from her research station. She was the ship's science officer, a small woman with bright eyes who loved to study new things. Could it be from another country? Maybe the Russians or Chinese built something in secret? Jake shook his head. "No way. This thing is too advanced. Look at the shape of it." The alien ship was beautiful in a way that made no sense. It looked like it was made of crystal and light. The hull seemed to glow with its own soft blue light. It had no visible engines or weapons, but it moved smoothly through space like a fish through water. "Sir, they're trying to talk to us," said Communication Officer Tim Walsh. "I'm getting signals on multiple frequencies." "Put it through the speakers," Jake ordered. The bridge filled with sounds that were clearly not human. It was musical, like singing, but with patterns that human ears could not quite understand. Then, suddenly, the sounds changed. They became clearer, more familiar. "Testing, testing. Can you understand these words?" The voice was clear now, speaking perfect English. Jake felt his heart racing. This was it. This was the moment humans had wondered about for hundreds of years. "This is Commander Jake Morrison of the Terran Exploration Command. We can understand. You, excellent. Your translation systems are primitive, but our technology has adapted to your language patterns. I am Ambassador Keth of the Galactic Council. We come in peace." Dr. Palmer grabbed Jake's arm. Her face was pale but excited. "This is really happening," she whispered. "We welcome you, Ambassador Keth," Jake said, trying to keep his voice steady. "This is humanity's first contact with alien life. We are honored. The honor is ours, Commander. We have been watching your species for some time. You have recently achieved faster-than-light travel, which means you are ready to join the galactic community." Captain Ben Rodriguez entered the bridge at that moment. He was an older man, gray-haired and calm, who had been in space longer than anyone else on the ship. "What's our status, Commander?" "First contact, Captain. We're talking to aliens." Ben's eyes widened, but he nodded slowly. "I see. Are they hostile?" "They say they come in peace," Jake replied. "Ambassador Keth," Ben said, stepping forward. "I am Captain Rodriguez. Can we meet face to face?" "Of course, Captain. We would be happy to visit your ship, or you may visit ours. We have created a safe environment for your species aboard our vessel." Dr. Palmer stepped forward. "How do you know what environment we need?" "We have been studying your planet for several months. Dr. Palmer, we know you breathe oxygen, require certain temperatures, and have specific gravity needs. We have prepared accordingly." The fact that the alien knew her name made Dr. Palmer step back in surprise. "You know who I am? We know all of your names and roles. This is standard procedure for first contact. We study a species thoroughly before making contact. It helps prevent misunderstandings." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. "How long have you been watching us?" "Not long by galactic standards. Perhaps 6 of your months. We detected your first faster-than-light test and began our observations then." "Why didn't you contact us sooner?" Captain Rodriguez asked. "We follow strict protocols, Captain. Species must demonstrate they can travel between stars before we make contact. It shows they are ready for galactic civilization." Tim Walsh looked up from his station. Sir, their ship is moving closer. They're requesting permission to dock. How can they dock? Jake asked. Our ships are completely different. We have universal docking systems, Ambassador Keth explained. They can adapt to any ship design. This is standard technology in the galaxy. Captain Rodriguez looked at Jake, then at Dr. Palmer. What do you think, Doctor? Is this safe? Dr. Palmer was practically bouncing with excitement. This is the greatest moment in human history. We have to meet them. I agree, Jake said. But we should be careful. Tim, alert Earth Command. Tell them what's happening. Already done, sir. They're as excited as we are. Very well, Captain Rodriguez said. Ambassador Keth, we give you permission to dock. We look forward to meeting you. The alien ship moved closer with impossible smoothness. It had no visible thrusters or engines, but it glided through space like it was swimming. When it reached the Terra Nova, a section of its hull seemed to flow like liquid metal, forming a perfect connection to the human ship's airlock. Amazing, Dr. Palmer whispered. Their technology is far beyond ours. Is the connection secure? Jake asked. Yes, sir. Atmosphere is stable. They've matched our air pressure and oxygen levels perfectly. Ambassador Keth's voice came through the speakers again. We are ready to meet, if you are prepared. Jake straightened his uniform and walked toward the airlock. Dr. Palmer and Captain Rodriguez followed him. The airlock opened and warm, clean. Air flowed in. Ambassador Keth was unlike anything humans had ever imagined. He was tall, maybe 8 feet, with pale skin that seemed to glow softly. He had 4 arms, each ending in long, graceful fingers. His face was kind, with large eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Welcome aboard, friends, Ambassador Keth said. His voice was gentle and musical. I am pleased to meet you in person. The pleasure is ours, Captain Rodriguez said. You are the first alien any of us has ever seen. And you are the first humans I have met, though I have studied your species extensively. You are fascinating creatures. Dr. Palmer could not contain her excitement. What is the galaxy like? How many species are there? How long have you been traveling between stars? Ambassador Keth smiled, which was strange to see on such an alien face. So many questions. I am happy to answer them all. Perhaps we should sit down? This will take some time. They moved to the ship's meeting room. Ambassador Keth had to duck to fit through the doorway. Your ship is built for your size, he observed. This makes sense. Most species build according to their physical needs. Tell us about the galaxy, Jake said. What should we know? The Galactic Council includes over 50,000 species, Ambassador Keth began. We have been at peace for over 3,000 years. Trade flows freely between star systems. Knowledge is shared openly. War is almost unknown. Almost? Captain. Rodriguez noticed the word choice. There are occasionally problems with primitive species, or with those who choose to remain outside the Council. But these are rare. Most species prefer peace and cooperation. Dr. Palmer leaned forward. How do so many different species work together? We have learned that diversity makes us stronger. Each species brings unique knowledge and abilities. Some are great builders, others are skilled in science, others are natural diplomats. Together, we accomplish more than any single species could alone. Where do humans fit in? Jake asked. That remains to be seen, Ambassador Keth said. First, we must complete the standard integration process. Every world must be classified according to its danger level. This helps us determine proper safety protocols. Earth is quite safe, Dr. Palmer said quickly. We have a stable climate, plenty of water, and peaceful conditions in most places. We will see, Ambassador Keth said gently. The assessment team will arrive within your week. They will study your planet thoroughly and assign it a classification rating. What kind of ratings are there? Captain Rodriguez asked. They range from Class 1 to Class 10. Class 1 worlds are completely safe, like garden paradises. Class 10. Worlds are barely habitable, with extreme conditions that most species cannot survive. I'm sure Earth will rate quite well, Dr. Palmer said confidently. Ambassador Keth nodded politely, but something in his expression suggested he was not entirely convinced. The assessment team arrived exactly 1 week later. Their ship was even bigger than Ambassador Keth's vessel, almost like a small city floating in space. It had laboratories, living quarters, and equipment that human scientists could only dream. About Chief Evaluator Zara was in charge of the team. She looked like a giant praying mantis, with 6 arms and large compound eyes that seemed to see everything at once. Her movements were quick and precise, and she spoke in a voice that sounded like wind chimes. "We will begin the assessment immediately," she announced to the gathered humans. "Time is valuable, and we have many worlds to evaluate." Dr. Alex Turner was Earth's lead scientist for the assessment. He was a friendly man who loved his planet and was eager to show it off to the aliens. "Welcome to Earth, Chief Evaluator. We're excited to show you our beautiful world." The assessment team included 12 different alien species. There was Plex, who looked like a floating octopus with purple skin. There was Vex, who seemed to be made of living crystal. Others were so strange that humans had trouble understanding what they were looking at. "We will start with your oceans," Chief Evaluator Zara said. "Water worlds are common in the galaxy, so this should be straightforward." Dr. Kelly Brooks, Earth's marine biologist, was thrilled to show off the oceans. She was a woman who had spent her whole life studying sea creatures, and she loved them all. "Our oceans are amazing. We have incredible diversity and some of the most beautiful creatures you've ever seen." The assessment team followed Dr. Brooks to a research station in the Pacific Ocean. The aliens wore special suits that let them breathe underwater, and they brought equipment that could scan the entire ocean in minutes. "The water chemistry is excellent," noted Junior Evaluator Plex, his tentacles waving as he checked his instruments. "Temperature is moderate. Salinity is perfect for most galactic species. This should be an easy Class 2 rating," Dr. Brooks said happily. That was when the great white shark appeared on their sensors. The massive predator was 20 feet long, with rows of razor-sharp teeth and black eyes that seemed to hold no emotion at all. It moved through the water with deadly grace. A perfect killing machine shaped by millions of years of evolution. Junior Evaluator Plex's tentacles went rigid with fear. "What is that creature?" "Oh, that's just a great white shark," Dr. Brooks said cheerfully. "They're one of our apex predators." "Beautiful, aren't they?" The entire assessment team recoiled in horror. Chief Evaluator Zara's compound eyes focused on the shark with what humans could only describe as terror. "That creature is designed purely for killing. It has no other purpose." "Well, they do help keep the ocean ecosystem in balance," Dr. Brooks explained, "and shark attacks on humans are extremely rare. Most sharks are afraid of us." "Afraid of you?" Plex's voice rose to a squeak. "You swim in the same water as these killing machines?" "Of course. Swimming in the ocean is one of humanity's favorite activities. Millions of people do it every day." The aliens began talking rapidly among themselves in their own languages. Chief Evaluator Zara turned back to Dr. Brooks. "How many of these apex predators exist in your oceans?" "Oh, thousands. We have great whites, tiger sharks, bull sharks, hammerheads. Then there are the smaller ones, like reef sharks, nurse sharks, sand tiger sharks." With each name, the aliens looked more horrified. When Dr. Brooks showed them pictures of a giant squid, 3 of the assessment team members requested immediate medical attention. This creature is 40 feet long, Dr. Brooks said proudly. They live in the deep ocean and fight whales. We've only recently been able to study them. Fight whales? Chief Evaluator Zara asked weakly. Yes, sperm whales hunt giant squid. The squid fight back with their tentacles and sharp beaks. It's an amazing battle. The assessment team huddled together, speaking in worried whispers. Finally, Chief Evaluator Zara spoke up. Are there other dangerous creatures in your oceans? Dr. Brooks laughed. Oh yes, hundreds of them. We have jellyfish that can kill you with a single sting, electric rays that can knock you unconscious, sea snakes with venom that can kill in minutes. And that's just the surface. In the deep ocean, we have creatures that live in crushing pressure and freezing temperatures. You consider this normal? Asked Vex, his crystal body flickering with distress. Absolutely. It's what makes our oceans so exciting to explore. The ocean assessment was supposed to take 1 day. It took 3 days, with the aliens requiring frequent breaks to calm their nerves. By the end, they had recorded over 200 species they classified as extremely dangerous, and over 1,000 they called moderately lethal. Next came the weather assessment. Dr. Sam Martinez, Earth's meteorologist, was excited to show off Earth's climate systems. Our weather patterns are really quite mild, he assured the aliens. We have some variation, but most of the planet is very comfortable. Chief Evaluator Zara had recovered somewhat from the ocean assessment. Weather is rarely a significant factor in planetary classification. Most civilized worlds have stable atmospheric conditions. Dr. Martinez showed them satellite images of Earth's weather systems. Here you can see a typical day. We have some clouds, a little rain in places, sunshine in others. Very pleasant. The aliens nodded approvingly until Dr. Martinez switched to footage of a hurricane. This is Hurricane Patricia, he explained. It was one of our stronger storms. Winds of about 200 miles per hour, covering an area the size of Texas. The assessment team stared in shock at the massive spiral of destruction spinning across the ocean. This is a natural weather phenomenon? Chief Evaluator Zara asked. Oh yes, we get dozens of these every year. They're called hurricanes in the Atlantic, typhoons in the Pacific, and cyclones in the Indian Ocean. They're actually quite useful for moving heat around the planet. And people live through these? Plex asked. Most of the time. We have good warning systems now, so people can evacuate if necessary. Though some people actually chase storms for fun. For fun? Several aliens asked at once. Dr. Martinez nodded enthusiastically. Storm chasing is a popular hobby. People drive right into tornadoes and hurricanes to study them and take pictures. The aliens requested another medical break. The weather assessment continued with demonstrations of tornadoes, lightning storms, blizzards, ice storms, flash floods, and heat waves. Each new weather pattern caused more distress among the assessment team. Your atmospheric conditions are highly volatile, Chief Evaluator Zara noted, her mandibles clicking nervously. Most Class 7 Deathworlds have more stable weather patterns. Class 7? Dr. Martinez asked. I thought we were looking at Class 2 or 3. The classification is under review, Chief Evaluator Zara said diplomatically. The geological assessment was led by Dr. Patricia Williams, a geologist who loved talking about Earth's dynamic systems. Our planet is geologically active, she explained proudly. We have plate tectonics, volcanic activity, and lots of interesting seismic events. The aliens perked up slightly. Geological activity can be quite beautiful, noted Vex. Many worlds have pleasant volcanic features. Dr. Williams showed them Mount Vesuvius. This volcano destroyed the city of Pompeii in 79 AD. It buried the entire city in ash and lava, preserving it perfectly for us to study today. It destroyed a city? Chief Evaluator Zara asked. Oh yes, volcanoes do that sometimes. We have about 1,500 active volcanoes around the world. Some of them are quite dangerous. The aliens began looking sick again. But the really interesting stuff happens with earthquakes, Dr. Williams continued. We're constantly having them as the tectonic plates move around. Most are small, but occasionally we get big ones that can level entire cities. And people continue to live in these areas? Plex asked. Of course. Some of the most beautiful and fertile land on Earth is near volcanoes and fault lines. The risk is worth it for the benefits. Dr. Williams went on to explain tsunamis, landslides, sinkholes, and other geological hazards. By the end of her presentation, half the assessment team was requesting transfers to other assignments. Your planet is actively trying to kill its inhabitants, Chief Evaluator Zara observed. Not really, Dr. Williams replied. It's just dynamic. The geological activity is what makes Earth so interesting and diverse. Without it, we'd be a boring, dead rock. The aliens spent the rest of the day in emergency consultation, trying to figure out how to classify a planet that seemed to exceed all their danger categories. Chief Evaluator Zara sent an urgent message to the Galactic Council. Initial assessment suggests unprecedented classification may be necessary. The humans, meanwhile, were beginning to realize that their beautiful, comfortable planet might not seem quite so pleasant to aliens who came from more peaceful worlds. The third day of assessment began with what the aliens thought would be the easiest part, studying human biology and health. Dr. Chris Johnson, an infectious disease specialist, was excited to show how well humans had adapted to their environment. The human immune system is really remarkable, he explained to the assessment team. We've developed resistance to thousands of diseases, bacteria, and viruses over millions of years of evolution. Chief Evaluator Zara nodded approvingly. Most advanced species have good immune systems. This should be straightforward. Dr. Johnson began with something simple. Let's start with the common cold. It's caused by over 200 different viruses, and the average human gets infected 2 to 3 times per year. The assessment team looked confused. Infected? Asked Junior Evaluator Plex. Yes, the viruses attack our respiratory system. We get runny noses, coughs, sore throats, sometimes fever. It's no big deal, really. Most people just work through it. You continue normal activities while infected with hostile organisms? Chief Evaluator Zara asked, her compound eyes widening. Sure, cold viruses are everywhere. If we stopped working, every time we caught one, nothing would get done. Dr. Johnson showed them statistics about common human diseases. We have influenza, which kills about 500,000 people worldwide each year. There's tuberculosis, malaria, pneumonia. Then there are the really serious ones like Ebola, plague, and hemorrhagic fevers. With each disease name, the aliens looked more horrified. When Dr. Johnson mentioned that some diseases had killed millions of people throughout history, 3 assessment team members fainted. And you live normally with all these biological weapons, active in your environment? Asked Vex, his crystal body dim with shock. They're not weapons. They're just part of nature. We've learned to deal with them. Modern medicine has made most diseases manageable, Dr. Johnson continued cheerfully. Of course, we also have to deal with fungal infections, parasites, and bacterial diseases. Did you know that millions of bacteria live in and on every human body? Most of them are helpful, but some can turn dangerous if conditions change. The entire assessment team requested emergency medical evaluation for stress-related illness. The biological assessment moved on to Earth's other life forms. Dr. Rachel Stone, a veterinarian, was eager to show off the planet's amazing animal diversity. "We have over 8 million different species on Earth," she said proudly. "From tiny insects to massive whales, our planet supports incredible variety." The aliens seemed to relax slightly. Biodiversity is usually a positive factor. Chief Evaluator Zara noted Dr. Stone started with what she thought would be appealing examples. "These are dogs," she said, showing pictures of various breeds. "They're humanity's best friends. We've been companions for over 15,000 years." The pictures showed golden retrievers, bulldogs, German shepherds, and other common breeds. The aliens looked at the images with growing alarm. "These are domesticated wolves," Chief Evaluator Zara said slowly. "Well, they evolved from wolves, but they're completely different now. Dogs are gentle, loyal, and loving. Most families have at least one. You allow apex predators to live in your homes?" Plex asked. "They're not predators anymore. They're pets. Children play with them, sleep with them, grow up with them." The aliens began talking rapidly among themselves. Dr. Stone could not understand their languages, but their tones sounded panicked. "What about cats?" she asked, showing pictures of house cats. "Smaller predators," Chief Evaluator Zara observed. "But still predators. Actually, cats are amazing hunters. A single cat can kill over 1,000 small animals per year. But they're also wonderful companions. They purr when they're happy, and the sound is very soothing to humans. You find the sound of a satisfied predator soothing?" Vex asked. Dr. Stone was beginning to realize that the aliens saw things very differently than humans did. "Maybe I should show you some of our wildlife instead." She showed them pictures of bears, lions, tigers, wolves, and other large predators. Each image caused more distress among the assessment team. "These creatures roam freely on your planet?" Chief Evaluator Zara asked. "Of course. They're part of the ecosystem. Humans and large predators have coexisted for millions of years." "Do they attack humans?" "Sometimes, but it's rare. Most predators avoid humans. We're actually more dangerous to them than they are to us." The aliens looked even more worried at this statement. Dr. Stone continued with venomous snakes, poisonous spiders, and other dangerous creatures. "We have about 600 species of venomous snakes worldwide. Some can kill a human in minutes. Others cause excruciating pain. But most are shy and avoid contact." "And humans live in areas where these creatures exist?" Plex asked. "Everywhere. There are dangerous animals on every continent except Antarctica. But people learn to be careful, and deaths are relatively rare." The assessment team was looking increasingly overwhelmed. Dr. Stone decided to try a different approach. "Let me show you some of our more interesting adaptations," she said. "Humans are actually quite remarkable in terms of what we can survive." She showed them data about human endurance, temperature tolerance, and survival capabilities. Humans can survive in temperatures from -40 degrees to +120 degrees Fahrenheit. We can hold our breath for several minutes, go without food for weeks, and survive severe injuries that would kill most other species. Why do you need such extreme survival capabilities? Chief Evaluator Zara asked. "Because Earth is a challenging environment. Natural selection has made us tough." Dr. Stone then made what she thought was an innocent comment. "Of course, many humans actually seek out dangerous situations for fun. We call them extreme sports." The aliens looked puzzled, so she explained. "Rock climbing, skydiving, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting. People deliberately put themselves in dangerous situations because they enjoy the challenge." Dr. Mike Phillips, an extreme sports enthusiast, had been waiting for this moment. "I'd be happy to show you some videos," he said cheerfully. He started with footage of people jumping out of airplanes, climbing steep mountain faces and surfing giant waves. The aliens watched in stunned silence. "This is recreational?" Chief Evaluator Zara asked weakly. "Absolutely. Millions of people participate in extreme sports. It's a huge industry." Mike showed them videos of people swimming with sharks, volcano boarding, and free climbing 1,000-foot cliffs. These activities require skill and training, but they're incredibly popular. "You deliberately seek out mortal danger for entertainment?" Plex asked. "It's not really that dangerous if you know what you're doing. The risk is part of what makes it exciting." The aliens began having what appeared to be the equivalent of panic attacks. Several requested immediate evacuation to their ship. Chief Evaluator Zara tried to maintain professional composure. "Are there other examples of humans deliberately exposing themselves to danger?" Dr. Johnson returned to the conversation. "Well, there's our diet. Humans consume many substances that are toxic to other species, such as?" Chief Evaluator Zara asked, though she looked like she might regret the question. "Capsaicin, for example. It's the chemical that makes peppers hot. It's actually a toxin designed to prevent mammals from eating the peppers, but humans love it. We put it in food specifically to cause pain in our mouths." "You consume toxins that cause pain for pleasure?" Vex asked. "Yes, and the hotter the better. For many people. We have contests to see who can eat the most painful peppers," Dr. Johnson continued. "We also drink alcohol, which is literally poison. It kills brain cells and damages the liver, but it's one of humanity's most popular recreational drugs." "You recreational consume brain poison?" several aliens asked at once. "Sure, and we smoke tobacco, which causes lung cancer. We drink coffee, which is a mild stimulant. We eat chocolate, which contains several psychoactive compounds." The assessment team was no longer trying to hide their horror. They huddled together, speaking in rapid, worried voices. "There's also our relationship with pain," Dr. Johnson added. "Many humans actually enjoy certain types of pain. We have massage, therapy, where people pay to have their muscles squeezed and stretched. We have saunas, where people sit in temperatures that would kill most species. We have ice baths, where people immerse themselves in freezing water." "Why?" Chief Evaluator Zara asked simply. "Because it feels good afterward. The pain makes us appreciate comfort more." The aliens spent the rest of the day in emergency consultation. Chief Evaluator Zara sent another urgent message to the Galactic Council. Earth's danger rating exceeds all known classifications, requesting immediate guidance on how to proceed. The humans, meanwhile, were beginning to understand that they might not be as normal as they had always assumed. Dr. Palmer pulled Jake aside. "I think we might be in trouble," she said quietly. "They're terrified of us, but we're not dangerous," Jake protested. "We're peaceful people. We're peaceful to each other. But from their perspective, we're a species that thrives in conditions. That would kill most galactic citizens. We consume poison for fun, and we deliberately seek out dangerous situations for entertainment." Jake looked out at the alien ship, where he could see frantic activity through the transparent sections. "What do you think they'll do?" "I don't know," Dr. Palmer admitted, "but I have a feeling our classification is going to be a lot higher than Class 2. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was the largest gathering in over a century. Representatives from all major species had traveled from across the galaxy to hear Chief Evaluator Zara's report about Earth. The Grand Assembly Hall buzzed with nervous energy as thousands of beings took their seats. The council chamber was a massive dome that could hold representatives of every shape and size. Some delegates floated in special atmosphere bubbles. Others sat on crystalline platforms, and a few existed as pure energy contained in special fields. Despite their differences, they all shared one thing: concern about what they were about to hear. Council Speaker Thane called the session to order. He was ancient even by galactic standards, a being of pure thought who had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. Council members, we are here to discuss the classification of the planet called Earth and its dominant species. Humans. Chief Evaluator Zara stood at the center of the chamber. Even after days of rest and medical treatment, she still looked shaken by her experience. Honored council members, in my 300 years of planetary assessment, I have never encountered anything like Earth. A murmur ran through the assembly. Zara was known for her calm, professional evaluations. To see her so disturbed was unprecedented. Please, present your findings. Council Speaker Thane requested that Zara activated a holographic display that showed Earth floating in space. It looked beautiful and peaceful, a blue and green jewel against the black of space. Earth appears to be a garden world at first glance. Abundant water, stable orbit, rich atmosphere. Initial projections suggested a Class 2 or 3 rating. Councillor Thex of the Aquatic Collective raised his fin. That seems reasonable for a water world. What changed your assessment? Everything, Zara replied. Earth's oceans contain thousands of apex predators, creatures designed purely for killing, ranging from microscopic organisms to beasts over 60 feet long. The dominant species, humans, swim in these waters regularly and consider it recreation. The assembly stirred uneasily. Councillor Vex of the Silicon Confederation spoke up. Surely the land masses are more hospitable? The land is worse, Zara continued. Earth's weather systems are extremely violent. Storms with winds exceeding 200 miles per hour are common. Rotating columns of air called tornadoes can destroy entire cities. Electrical discharges from the sky kill thousands annually. And the geological conditions? Asked Councillor Zeth of the Peaceful Herbivore Alliance. Catastrophic. Earth has over 1,500 active volcanoes that regularly destroy populated areas. The planet's surface is broken into massive plates that constantly move, causing earthquakes. That can level entire regions. Yet humans continue to live in these areas and consider the geological activity interesting. The council members were becoming increasingly agitated. Many species had never encountered anything more dangerous than a mild rainstorm or a small tremor. Surely the biological conditions are more reasonable? Councillor Thex asked hopefully. Zara's expression grew even more troubled. The biological assessment was the most disturbing part. Earth's biosphere is designed around predation, competition, and constant mortal threat. Every ecosystem is based on creatures killing and eating each other. She showed images of Earth's food webs, with arrows showing who ate whom. Humans exist at the top of this system, having defeated every other predator on the planet. They domesticated wolves, turning apex predators into companions. They keep smaller predators as pets in their homes, finding the sound of a satisfied predator soothing. The assembly was growing more horrified by the minute. But the most disturbing aspect, Zara continued, is that humans deliberately expose themselves to danger for entertainment. They jump from aircraft, climb vertical rock faces, and swim with deadly predators. They consume toxins that cause pain because they enjoy the sensation. They hold contests to see who can endure the most suffering. Councillor Vex's crystalline form flickered with distress. Are you suggesting these humans are a warrior species? No, Councillor. They are far more complex than warriors. They are artists, scientists, philosophers, and peacekeepers. But they have been shaped by an environment so hostile that their idea of fun would be considered torture by most galactic species. Dr. Tony Anderson, Earth's representative, had been listening to the proceedings with growing alarm. He stood up from his designated area. May I address the council? Council Speaker. Thane nodded. You may speak, Dr. Anderson. I understand your concern, but I want you to know that humans are not monsters. Yes, Earth is challenging, but we've learned to work with our environment rather than against it. We've built great cities, created beautiful art, and developed technologies that have improved life for everyone. Dr. Anderson, Counselor Vex said gently, we do not think humans are monsters. But your species has abilities and tolerances that far exceed anything we have encountered. You consider activities that would kill most of us to be recreational. We've had to adapt, Dr. Anderson replied. But that adaptation has given us strengths that might be useful to the galactic community. We're explorers, problem solvers, and survivors. We don't give up easily. Counselor Zeth spoke up. That is exactly what concerns some of us. Your species' refusal to surrender, combined with your tolerance for extreme conditions, makes you unlike anything in the galaxy. The debate continued for hours. Some council members argued for immediate quarantine of Earth, fearing that humans might spread their Deathworld mentality to other planets. Others worried about the military implications of a species that thrived in conditions that would kill most galactic citizens. We must consider the precedent, argued Counselor Mex of the Peaceful Traders Union. If we allow a species this dangerous into the galactic community, what message does that send to other aggressive species? But they're not aggressive, countered Counselor Yez of the Diplomatic Corps. They're peaceful among themselves. Their danger comes from their environment, not their nature. Ambassador Keth, who had spent the most time with humans, requested permission to speak. Council members, I have observed these humans closely. Yes, they are dangerous by our standards, but they are also remarkable. They show compassion for the weak, curiosity about the unknown, and courage in the face of impossible odds. That courage is exactly what worries us, Counselor Vex replied. A species that faces impossible odds, instead of retreating, could destabilize the galaxy. Chief Evaluator Zara cleared her throat. Council members, we face a classification problem. Earth exceeds our current rating system. Based on my assessment, I must recommend the creation of a new classification level. The assembly fell silent. No planet had ever required a rating above Class 10. What are you suggesting? Council Speaker Thane asked. I propose we create Class 11, Class 12, and Class 13 ratings. Earth would receive a Class 13 designation. The silence that followed was deafening. Class 13 was beyond anything the galaxy had ever imagined. It suggested a world so dangerous that most species could not even visit it safely. Class 13, Counselor Vex repeated slowly. That's 3 levels above our highest current rating. It's necessary, Zara insisted. Earth's combination of geological instability, extreme weather, biological warfare, and predator-based ecosystems creates a danger level that our current system cannot adequately describe. Dr. Anderson stood up again. Council members, I understand that Earth seems dangerous to you, but billions of humans live there safely. Children play in our oceans, families hike in our mountains, and people grow old in peace. We're not constantly fighting for survival. Dr. Anderson, Counselor Zeth said gently, what you consider living safely would be considered extreme survival conditions by most galactic species. Your children play in waters that contain apex predators. Your families hike in regions where the weather could kill them in minutes. Your elderly live through conditions that would challenge our strongest warriors. We've learned to be careful, Dr. Anderson replied. We have safety systems, warning networks, and emergency procedures. Most of the time, nothing dangerous happens. Most of the time, Counselor Vex repeated. But when dangerous things do happen, humans adapt and continue. Most species would evacuate permanently. The debate continued through the galactic night cycle. Some council members argued for complete isolation of Earth, treating it as a quarantine zone. Others suggested limited contact with extreme safety protocols. A few radical voices even proposed preemptive military action, though these were quickly shouted down. We cannot make a decision based on fear, Ambassador Keth argued. Yes, humans are dangerous, but they are also potentially valuable allies. Their ability to survive in extreme conditions could be an asset to the galaxy. Or a threat, countered Counselor Mex. What happens when they start exploring other worlds? What if they decide our peaceful worlds are too boring and try to make them more interesting? That's not how humans work, Dr. Anderson protested. We don't try to change other worlds to match Earth. We're explorers, not conquerors. But your very presence changes things, Counselor Yes pointed out. If humans can survive in conditions that kill other species, they will naturally expand into regions we cannot follow. That could create territorial conflicts. The discussion was interrupted by an urgent message from the Outer Rim. A communications. 6 months after the Galactic Council's historic decision, the galaxy was learning to live with its new Class 13 citizens. The initial fear and suspicion had not completely disappeared, but events had forced a rapid change in perspective. General. Kate Sullivan stood on the command deck of the starship Earth's Pride, looking out at the mixed crew working together. She had been a colonel in the U.S. Space Force when first contact happened. Now she commanded the 1st Joint Human Galactic Defense Force, a military unit that would have been unimaginable just months earlier. General, we're receiving an emergency. Signal from the Kepler colony, reported Lieutenant Dan Brooks from the communications station. The Void Raiders have attacked. The colony is requesting immediate assistance. Kate nodded grimly. The Void Raiders had become increasingly bold. Since their return, their attacks followed the same pattern. They would poison a world's atmosphere, contaminate the water supply, and release biological weapons that made planets uninhabitable for most galactic species. How long until the standard evacuation fleet arrives? Kate asked. 48 hours at best, General. But the colonists don't have that long. The Void Raiders' biological weapons are already spreading. Kate looked at her mixed-species crew. There were humans, of course, but also crystalline beings who could survive in vacuum, aquatic species who could work in contaminated water, and energy beings who were immune to biological weapons. It was the kind of crew that could only exist after the galaxy had learned to see diversity as strength. Set course for Kepler colony, maximum speed, she ordered, and send a message to Dr. Amy Foster's emergency response team. Tell them we'll need full environmental suits and decontamination equipment. Dr. Foster had been a disaster relief coordinator on Earth before becoming the head of the newly formed Galactic Emergency Response Division. Her experience with hurricanes, earthquakes, and chemical spills had made her the galaxy's leading expert. On crisis management, the Earth's Pride arrived at Kepler colony to find a world in chaos. The beautiful blue-green planet was already showing signs of contamination. Brown patches spread across the continents where the Void Raiders' weapons had poisoned the soil. The atmosphere showed dangerous levels of toxic compounds that would kill most galactic species within hours. This is worse than anything we've seen, reported Science Officer Lisa Palmer, who had transferred from exploration to military service. The contamination is spreading faster than our models predicted. Can the colonists survive until the evacuation fleet arrives? Kate asked. Not without help. The life support systems in their underground shelters won't last more than 12 hours in this environment. Kate made a decision that would have been impossible before humans joined the galactic community. We're going down there. Her alien crew members looked concerned. Counselor Thex's nephew, young aquatic Lieutenant Flex, spoke up. General, the surface conditions would kill most of us within minutes. Then we wear full environmental suits. Humans have been working in toxic environments for decades. We know how to do this safely. The rescue mission that followed became legendary in galactic military history. Human Marines led mixed teams to the planet's surface, moving through contaminated zones that should have been instantly lethal. Their environmental suits and breathing equipment, designed for Earth's industrial accidents, worked perfectly in the alien toxic environment. Captain Steve Parker, a former Army Ranger, led the ground teams. Remember, stick to your buddy system. Check your suit seals every 10 minutes. We've done this in chemical plants and nuclear accident sites back home. This is just another day at the office. The aliens watched in amazement as humans worked calmly in conditions that would have sent most species into panic. The humans moved confidently through the poisoned landscape, following procedures they had learned from dealing with Earth's own environmental disasters. Dr. Foster's emergency response teams set up decontamination stations and field hospitals with the efficiency of people who had handled similar crises hundreds of times. The key is staying calm and following protocol, she explained to her alien assistants. Panic kills more people than the actual disaster. The rescue operation took 18 hours. The human-led teams evacuated over 10,000 colonists from 12 different species, working in shifts to ensure no one was exposed to the toxic environment for too long. When the regular evacuation fleet finally arrived, they found the crisis already under control. Admiral Jake Morrison, now commanding the entire human space fleet, received the after-action report with pride. The mission had been a complete success, with 0 casualties among the rescue teams and all colonists safely evacuated. Admiral, we're receiving calls from 17 different worlds requesting human emergency response teams, reported Communications Officer Tim Walsh. Word is spreading about what happened at Kepler. The success at Kepler Colony marked a turning point in how the galaxy viewed humans. The species that had once been feared for their dangerous nature were now seen as protectors and rescuers. Dr. Chris Johnson found himself leading the Galactic Disease Control Center, using his experience with Earth's biological hazards to develop new treatments for alien diseases. The principles are the same, he explained to his diverse staff. Identify the pathogen, understand how it spreads, develop countermeasures, and implement prevention protocols. The galaxy's peaceful nature had left them vulnerable to biological threats they had never encountered. Humans, who had been fighting diseases for millennia, brought knowledge and techniques that revolutionized galactic medicine. Lieutenant Commander Mike Phillips had found a new calling training alien special forces in extreme environment operations. Most of you come from garden worlds, he told his mixed species class. You think Class 5 conditions are extreme. I'm going to teach you how to operate in Class 10 environments and survive. His training programs, based on human extreme sports and military survival training, created the galaxy's first true special operations forces. Beings who had never faced real danger learned to overcome fear and operate in hostile conditions. Military transformation was remarkable, but the cultural changes were even more significant. Ambassador Keth had been right when he said humans could prove that dangerous did not mean evil. Captain Ben Rodriguez, now retired from active service, worked as a cultural liaison, helping other species understand human psychology. We're not fearless, he explained to a group of worried diplomats. We feel fear just like you do, but we've learned to work through it instead of being paralyzed by it. The galaxy began to understand that humans' relationship with danger was not about seeking destruction, but about growth and adaptation. The same drive that made humans climb mountains and swim with sharks also made them excellent problem solvers and innovators. Dr. Alex Turner had become the galaxy's leading expert on hostile environment colonization. Worlds that had been considered too dangerous for settlement were now being developed with human expertise. The key is working with the environment instead of against it, he taught his students. Earth taught us that danger and beauty often go together. The Void Raiders, meanwhile, found their tactics increasingly ineffective. Worlds that should have been evacuated in panic instead called for human assistance. Planets that should have been abandoned were quickly restored, and their final defeat came when a joint human-alien force tracked them to their home base. The Void Raiders had chosen a world with crushing gravity, toxic atmosphere, and violent storms. Assuming no one could follow them there, they had not counted on humans. General Kate Sullivan led the assault personally, commanding troops in power, armor designed to handle Earth's most extreme environments. The battle was fought in conditions that would have been impossible for most galactic species, but humans treated it as just another difficult mission. "Remember your training," she told her mixed species force over the radio. "We've practiced in worse conditions than this. Stay focused and watch each other's backs." The victory over the Void Raiders marked the end of the galaxy's most serious threat in centuries. It also marked the full acceptance of humans as members of the galactic community. 1 year after first contact, Admiral Jake Morrison stood before the Galactic Council to deliver the annual human report. The chamber that had once been filled with fear and suspicion now buzzed with respectful attention. "Council members," he began, "humans are honored to serve the galactic community. Our Class 13 rating is not a warning label. It's a promise. We promise to use our strength to protect those who cannot protect themselves, to explore places others cannot go, and to solve problems others cannot solve." The applause that followed came from representatives of thousands of species across the galaxy. In just 1 year, humans had transformed from feared outsiders to valued protectors. Council Speaker Thane rose to respond. "Admiral Morrison, when we first learned of Earth's classification, many of us feared what humans might do to the galaxy. We have learned instead what humans can do for the galaxy." As the session ended, Dr. Lisa Palmer reflected on how much had changed. "A year ago, we thought we were just another species hoping to join a peaceful galactic community. Now we're the galaxy's guardians." Jake smiled. "Maybe that's what Earth was preparing us for all along." Every Hurricane Ta